Ready for Evolution. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being on time. I'll give it a minute to populate. Hey, this is Tamika. Glad to see you from the Yak. We'll be on the way in just a moment, family. All right, people are having trouble locating the page. I'm just responding to some of those messages. I have so many pages. Feeling guilty now because people were having a difficult time finding it. Hey, Sister Sharon Vicks. Baby. In my Coach Dwayne Taylor voice. Quite excited. I hope you find value in what we're about to share. Because I think it will help us in our business. Hey, Sister Erica. Oh, a couple of minutes more, family. At the same time, it would not hurt you to share this opportunity with many of your Facebook friends and colleagues you possibly can. Share to those who looking to make a part of the opportunity as affiliate. Share with those who are affiliates on your team. It can't hurt. Hey, Brother Chris Cade, Brother Abdul Rahman, Sister Monica Logan. Oh, glad to see you. Glad to see you. Couple minutes more, family. We're gonna get it in. We're gonna give you time to share. I'm gonna do some sharing myself, and by all means, I really believe this is gonna be a great undertaking, successful one. Let me put it that way. We're also going to attempt to make room for some Q&A. So if you have any questions in relation to this or any comments you'd like to make, there'll be chat room access or comment access on the screen, and we'll make time to do what we can to address it, okay? All right, all right. We're gonna get it on here. Greetings, everyone. Brother Eric Ture Muhammad, live in the world of cyberspace. We're coming to you with our class in session, Organizing an Effective Routine. Organizing an Effective Routine. This was born out of a few scenarios by which I personally have been inspired by, and as a result, is allowing me to share with you today. So I'm asking that you have pen and paper, pencil and paper, whatever you can do with paper, get the writing utensil because I believe it will benefit all of you. All right. So as we get it underway, there's a couple of requests, not so much ground rules, just requests. Continue to obviously just continuously share out the presentation to others, but also I want you to pay attention to the YouTube channel that we've had now for the past year or so, and share with as much of your team as you feel inspired to share with, and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, like it, share it. Eric Ture Muhammad. There's a lot of training tools that are there that have been uploaded over the past 12 to 16 months. One particular presentation, it was probably the most popular of the presentations that I've had on the channel. Uh, Fast, Pray, and Save. That was done rather in the time of our Ramadan season, the season of the Muslims, where we celebrate the revelation of scriptures, the revelations of the prophet, and as a result, it's a 30-day fasting period, and that 30-day fasting period, where we abstain from eating food or drink, argument, things of that nature, from the daylight hours from sunrise to sunset, and we break our fast with dates and with prayer, and then we go on to make our uh, gifts to each other as family and things of that nature. Well, during that particular period, I realized how much I was saving by not eating during the day, by not consuming myself in comfort foods, and I started utilizing those things I would normally spend on coffee, you know, and I showed how that equaled a gram of gold on a weekly basis. And it was surprising to see what all that added up to and what we were able to do in that period, in that season. So I share it for the discipline that it shows and explains that could be accomplished. So at any rate, the YouTube channel, Eric Ture Muhammad, subscribe, like, and share. Okay, now in order to really benefit from what we're offering you today on the establishing an effective routine, we have to eliminate something, and that is our fear. Jim Rohn described fear as false evidence appearing real, but we have to eliminate fear, and you eliminate fear by tackling your vision or dream for a thing, developing your sense of purpose. Make your vision so clear to yourself that your fears become irrelevant. Mr. Best is known for saying that when your dream is big enough, the facts don't count. When a dream is big enough, the facts don't count. Well, there's tremendous truth to that. There's tremendous truth to that. But now you have to organize yourself in a way that allows you to realize the vision or realize the dream. The facts don't count in terms of what leads up to it, but there is a way that you have to establish yourself, and I'm learning through trial and error. I've learned some things through trial and error, and as a result, we're sharing today, but you have to develop a routine by which your vision, your dreams can be realized. And it has to come with a certain sense of balance that only the routine can develop. All right. I need to say that again. It has to come with a sense of balance that only a routine can develop. All right. So make sure that once you embrace a vision, a dream, no matter how big or small, understand that, if you want to outpace the fear, if you want to outpace the doubt, well, it doesn't matter if it's big or small. If you want to outpace the fear, if you want to outpace the doubt, your dream has to be so big that it overshadows the false evidence that appears real. And what is some of that false evidence? Well, we have an opportunity that no one in the world, in our world, 99% of the world rather, has never seen, never understood, wasn't even made to look in that direction. And as a result, we have the opportunity to overcome those obstacles in our way. What's the obstacle? The obstacle is where you're appealing to people who don't understand because it's not on their radar screen. It was placed on yours and you made a decision to run for it. Go with the runners, run with the runners. But the people you're running after, Well, they don't have the same agenda. They don't have the same insight or vision. They don't even have a blip on their screen that shows that things should have been different for them because their norm was so thick in activation that didn't allow them to see, as my wife cites the example oftentimes, the forest for the trees. Hey, brother Danny James. Sister Roz Range. If you don't have range, you don't have Roz. Sister Connie Dismute. Oh, and who else do we have there? Brother Ronald Smith. Hey, soldier. So let's get into it. Organizing an effective routine. Okay. How do we go about doing that? What is an effective routine? An effective routine successfully combines time, thought, craft, and persistence. It's a combination of those things. What is an effective routine? It is the combination of time, thought, craft, and persistence. Okay. Uh, when you have that combination in place, it allows you to provide creative work. It prioritizes your personal needs, and it serves as building blocks. You know, those building blocks, mind you, they involve energy and they involve associating triggers or associated triggers here, but associating triggers is what I'll explain in the later slides. So an effective routine, it's the combination of success, and that success has a formula, which includes your time, that's your commitment, your thought, the power and the empowering of your dream, your craft, that which you're looking to develop to go after it, and your persistence. Do you have the tenacity? Do you have the stick to itness? Do you have that certain thing known as oomph? Hey, brother Lenny, that certain thing is oomph to keep it moving. All right. So your routine will feed your freedom. Now, many of you, as we said in the previous streams of the last couple of days, you had no idea. You had no idea that you were going to wake up to a day where you weren't going to work. Some of us planned to take on additional employment or other jobs or little pickup things to create more of a revenue stream, more of a cash flow within your house that went beyond the active income. And that was all disrupted for you. But as a wealth builder, I'm here to tell you there was no disruption for us. And in this opportunity of just learning how to organize your time, you'll realize that it's carved out a unique opportunity for yourself. In fact, I want to show you all a little gift I received today in case you had not seen it. Zeke, 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 Zeke. You pass me that, please? I received a shipment today, and I showed some of it in a post earlier. Can y'all see that? Oh man, ain't no false evidence appearing real here. It's our impost phone, baby. It's the first of them, and I got it today and showed some of the some of the aspects of it earlier today online. So very happy about it. Hey, brother Mustafa Farrakhan. Oh, I'm sorry, Mustafa Muhammad, a follower of Farrakhan. All right. So effective routine, folks. The effective routine successfully combines your time. It combines your thought, the power and the visualization of your dreams, your craft, meaning what it is that you're going after. What are you uniquely carving out for yourself? And the persistence, the tenacity, the stick to it to make it happen. An effective routine provides creative work. All right. It prioritizes your personal needs. Its building blocks involve energy and associating triggers. Okay. Now we're going to identify the number one problem of organization, and then we're going to execute some solutions. All right. Now the number one problem is our inability to handle our own priorities. That is the number one problem. We do not handle our own priorities. We're always handling the priorities of other people before our own. and it enslaves us. Okay, it enslaves us. It throws us into a dark space where we cannot execute, and thus it frustrates us. So in order to maneuver in the proper light, in order to have the success that we're desirous of, we must not handle the priorities of other people before handling our own. It's self-preservation. That's the first law of nature, right? Okay, but we only apply nature, we only apply nature oftentimes uh, in vacuums when it doesn't upset the normal flow of things, the normalcy of what you've been accustomed to or used to. We have to develop the willpower to shut off the world. We're going to talk about that. We're going to learn how to create and execute the ultimate to-do list. We're going to spend some time on that, and we're going to create time chunks of success. All right. Building your creative zone. Do not handle other people's priorities before your own. That's number one. You have to learn the difference between creative work and reactive work. Reactive work are those disruptions you allow to take you out of your creative zone. I cited the number one element that I saw in my life, and I'm sure it's a part of yours. And the number one disruptor has been cell phones and emails. I know I just showed off my cell phone. That's a little different. Okay. But that has been the number one disruptor for me. Hey, Sister Jamila. Assalamu alaikum. All right. I'll give you an example. We're so glued to these phones that it serves as an addiction. We're in denial that it is. We'll say, I can put it down at any time, or I organize myself through it. And truth is, you really don't. The majority of us really do not. Okay. So I'll give you an example. I'll end my day and I'll go to lay down and rest, and I'll get up in the middle of the night and scroll through my phone. That means that I'm not resting. I'm not giving my body the time to replenish itself energy-wise, to maximize the day that's ahead, the day that's coming. I'm up scrolling through the phones. I don't turn off like the phone doesn't turn off. Okay? So if you allow yourself to allow this phone or your laptop that might be, I don't know, maybe in your bedroom or a tablet, whatever the case is, and you allow yourself to be disrupted with the pings, the tings, the notifications, the bells, the whistles, the rings, that's not normal. That's not normal. And you know, when I really began in this pursuit of carrot bars, you know, that phone really gave my household hell, because my wife wanted to rest like I should have wanted to rest. And if I'm laying down and I get a message from Nigeria, which is 6 hours ahead of us, then I'm up taking that message. Well, that disturbs her as well. You have to have a turn off switch at some point. Okay. And that's what she was sharing with me, and I didn't see it. But one day recently, in the last few days, actually, I realized it by something that she had done. Now, my wife is an educator. She's teaching online now as a result of the closure of schools. And she's made an overture to the school and to the parents to keep the minds of the children acclimated while they're out, so that whenever they do return, if they do return, there'll be a strengthened or consistent acumen for learning. Oh man, she's powerful with this kind of tool. All right. But this is what she did. I'm in the bedroom being lazy, and I'm attempting to reach out to her to share something. I don't come out of the bedroom and speak with her. I don't move. I get on the phone and I send a text message, and there's no response. Then I'd call the phone, only to find out that the phone is in the room with me, her phone. She created a zone by which she did not allow the disruption of the phone to take her out of her creative zone. And when I recognized that and realized that, I was like, wow, she's going to be successful. And then when she started in on her work, and I'm observing her work, and I'm observing the joy of the uninterrupted interaction between her and her students, I said, man, it's time for me to live this example. So that helped to prioritize this particular stream because I saw it. You know, people can tell you all day long, you know, and you think it's not an issue. But when you're able to see the success of it, I realized that that is a duplicatable act, that if we duplicate it, we'll find ourselves in a better creative space and a better means by which we can organize. So cell phones, all right, that's a huge disruption. I'm gonna tell you another disruption, email. Now, many of us don't answer email, okay? Many of us don't. But when you're in a workspace to do a job or handle your business, you can't allow these interruptions of going to your email. You know, when I used to work at the plantation, you know, I would go in and the first thing I would do is answer a ton of emails. I would spend the first part of that day going through all the emails that have come in over the past night or the week, you know, and it got harder to do as I was only working at one point once a week. So now I'm coming in and all these emails are lined up and I'm going through all of them because I think I have to, right? But the truth of the matter is there are a lot of things in your emails. There's a lot of things in your text messages that you can really put down. You don't even have to answer right away. It can wait till later. But it's the fixation of the addiction to technology. See, technology wasn't something that we picked up on our own. Technology was something that the world, in its development and growth, thrusted upon us. So we didn't have a system by which we came into it, but now we're so inundated with technology, we're addicted. We won't even look up in the street walking. You know, we might be walking right into oncoming traffic. We might be walking into somebody who's looking to take whatever's in our hand or rip us off, whatever the case is, but we're not paying attention left or right. We're just looking down and we're walking and we're texting and we're following tablets or we're adjusting earbuds in our head and we're bouncing to beats, you know, paying no attention to the world that's around us. So that's what you call reactive work, because it's taking you out of your zone to create a reality for yourself, a new reality for some of us. For many of us, it's a new reality we hope to create, but we allow the distraction of doing things that are outside the zone. And the other thing, procrastination. You know, I'll wait to do it. I'll wait to do it. I know what I want to do. It's important to me, but I'll get to it tomorrow. You know, one of our great mentors in Islam, we refer to him affectionately as the General, Minister Abdul Kareem Muhammad. He always used to say to me, brother, how long are you going to wait? Too much weight breaks the wagon. You know, all this waiting that we do, it breaks routine, it breaks the wagon, it destroys spirit, and it destroys the will to accomplish, because you have set yourself up for a bout of non-success. You know, you're battling an uphill road because you're fighting the inertia. So it's very important, it becomes very important that you get out of the reactive work and move more towards your creative zone. So your successful solutions in this, create time chunks of success. What do we mean by that? Well, number one, you have to establish hard edges in your days. You know, have a set start time and a finish time for the different activities that are part of your days. My wife will come in and say 10 to 2, she's doing X, Y, and Z. I mean, this has been a very revealing week for me, exciting, You know, 10 to 2, she's doing X amount of things in that hour, in those hours, right? Now, look how she set it up. And this is powerful now because I've been teaching it and not doing it. And then I saw it in her interaction. Check this out. All right. She set up these hours. Then, after she set up the hours, she provided the space and time. She broke it up in segments. At this particular time, I'm doing creative work. At this particular time, I'm having meetings. At this particular time, I'm doing correspondence. At this particular time, I'm handling administrative things. She put this thing together and she shut off the world around her and concentrated solely on that. Okay. Now, we're all in the same space, the workspace. So hubby got needs, children got needs. Oh, we don't have really needs. We have wants, and most of it is just attention. I'm the big dog in the house. So I walk around, and I'm surveying the land and I want people to say hello to me just for the heck of it. Or I might want to interrupt them with a nonsensical conversation, but she cut it all off because she had things she had to do because she set the hard edges. 10 to 2, she's doing what she does, right? Remember, make your vision so clear that your fears become irrelevant. She made her activity so clear that she defined some hard edges, when she's going to begin, when it's going to end. All right, and she got to moving. Now, check this out. These are the rules that I learned in her motion. Things that I had been doing, some of them, other things that I realized through her own personal efforts. Identify the times that you have the most energy. And identify the times you have the most energy in your day or your days and maximize that time. Now, what do I mean by maximize that time? Well, first of all, inside that time, you don't schedule meetings. You don't waste time doing administrative work. You utilize that time for the best or for the most production to yield the greatest success. All right. You maximize that time. If you inundate the time where you have the most energy towards meeting with people, talking with people, shuffling, or what do you call it? Shuffling, yes, paperwork. That's a waste of energy. And that's not conducive to the time that you should map out for the moments you have the most energy. Some people are morning people. So I can't tell you what time should work best for you. Some people are morning people, others aren't. Others aren't. Some of us have businesses that dictate working around the clock or being open around the clock 24/7 because we deal with different time zones. There are times where I'll be on at 9 p.m. doing a stream or a training or a presentation because Hawaii can receive it, because the South Pacific is inside the time zone. Or I'll be doing things early morning, 8 and 9 a.m. because Nigeria, Europe, they're 6 hours ahead of us. So it allows them the opportunity to look at things during a comfortable portion of their day. Okay. So I know those things exist for me. Time zones are real for me and real for many of you who are in networking and deal with a global community. All right. So, but I also know I have peak times by which I work, energy wise. So I learned how to now identify those times where I have the most energy, and I apply the massive action inside those times. However, around those times, those things where I don't have that kind of energy to really give it my all, I consistently and frequently work on setting up the massive action. So do not schedule meetings during those times that you have the most energy. And don't waste time on administrative work where you have the most energy. Create associating triggers. You have to have an ambiance. Hey, brother Kwame Benter, Thomas Adams. Oh, say, hey, Sister Ramona. Assalamu alaikum, brother Marcus. Assalamu alaikum, brother Amar Berry. Peace and power, God. All right, so a few days ago, I was bragging in my pain. I had my wife put together some furniture. She ordered some, I call them his and her desks, you know. She has a workspace. I have a workspace next to hers. And she came in, and within 45 minutes, she put together this desk. The shipment came in. She opened up the box, and she got busy. I'm walking around talking about a bunch of other stuff. Oh, I was in my little world, you know. I'm on the phone. I'm following the power calls. I'm doing different things. She's busy working on her desk. And before I knew it, it was up, set up, ready. And my son and I just moved it over into the space that she intended for that desk to be. And then she said, yours is over there. She pointed at a box. And she said, I want that set up tonight, Eric. And she went on about her business. She went on about her business. Now, mind you, it wasn't a suggestion, and you got to know when even in a suggestion, it's a directive or an order. You have to know that, right? So she spent her money, she invested her money in making sure that I had the ability to be just as successful as she intended for herself to be, if not even more. And what does it do? It creates peace of mind when you have the right ambiance and the right setup by which you can handle your business. So I got on the stream later on that evening talking about how sore my back was putting that desk together. But I did it because I didn't want to be punked, because, you know, she did hers and asked for no assistance. I waited to the wee hours of the morning hoping everybody was asleep, you know, and then I went on and erected mine. Okay, put it in place. But I was wore out because I didn't have the stamina that apparently she had, you know. So creating that ambiance, that's your surroundings, okay? You create a workspace that's designated and designed to create the success that you envision. And then you create what I call workspace condiments, all right? I don't mean salt, pepper, ketchup, mayonnaise, mustard. I ain't talking about working your gums to your gut. I'm talking about your tools. You know, it might be your laptop or desktop computer. It might be your phone. It might be your ability to note take. It might be a stack of things to do. You know, whatever your routine is. It might be your printer. It might be other things like scissors or paper clips or staplers or things that you need to handle and organize yourself, right? And then you might have your filing folders or whatever it is, you know, but you create the ambiance around you. It may be the books you study. It might be some Brian Tracy reading on Eric Worre or Todd Best or Stephanie Harkness and David Finkel. You know, it might be some of their books. It might be CDs and things that you leave around yourself. I keep a stack of them, you know. I keep the study going. I have the headset. But look, you create the workspace that allows you to take the massive action during the time you have the most energy. Hey, Sister Linda, don't be laughing at me, sister. Okay? You create that space. Now, know this. It's the tasks not started that are the most tiresome. It wears you out to think about the things that you have to do coming into the next day and not do it. Give you an example. Some of you have jobs, and whether you work 1 day a week or 6 or 7 days a week, when it's time to leave your home to start the job, everybody has the same reaction when it's time. You sit up on the side of your bed if you're awakened by an alarm or you have this internal clock that goes off on you, letting you know what time it is. And you'll sit up and say, man, I can't believe I'm about to go do this today. I don't care if you're working once a month. That one day that you have to give up your freedom, the nature kicks in and hits you. It's like smoking a cigarette for the first time and your body, it rejects the smoke because it's not something natural or normal to do. And you should have taken the first hint when you start coughing, woo, beating your chest, looking for relief. But no, we want to brave it out and we suck in another toke. Well, that's how we've treated freedom, when it's available to you. So when you know that you have a job to do and you don't do it, and you continue to allow that job to lay dormant, it becomes tiresome and becomes burdensome. And know this, that though days are long, the years are shorter. You think you have enough time in the day to eventually get to it, so you push it off, push it off, push it off, push it off. But you're basically pushing it off into another day and into another day and into other days. And then you forget the days and you forget the task. And before you know it, you're hit with a snowball effect of when you needed that done, but now you're hindered or handicapped because you allowed the weight of procrastination to really wear you out. So just know this. These are rules to go by now. It's the task that's not started that proves to be the most tiresome. And though your days are long, your years are short. So learn how to move with some level of frequency. This is where the consistency comes in. Remember, when we talked about the groundwork for an effective routine is time, thought, craft, and persistence. Keep that in mind. All right. Tell yourself that what you do every day matters more than what you do once in a while. What you do every day matters more than what you do once in a while. Why is that so important to articulate? You really need to say it to yourself like a mantra or a slogan. Why? Because we live in a world of non-dreamers. It's a jungle of non-dreamers. And they may be dreaming, but they may not have your dream. They may not have your mission. They may not have your vision, your foresight. So you are responsible for producing the reality that you seek and desire. That's not the responsibility of your spouse or your children or your friends or your other family members or your coworkers or your peers. That's no one else's responsibility but yours. So once you commit, you must make every day of that commitment matter. You see, more than what you do once in a while. So in my world of wealth building, I've learned that one, in order to realize a measure of success, you have to work from a certain foundation. You have to have the framework. So you must pay yourself first to wealth build. You must pay yourself first. You must be able to exchange that paper for gold, especially now. I just got a report before getting on the stream. I didn't get it just now, because if it did come just now, I didn't see it because I'm exercising what I'm sharing with you. All right, but just before we began, the S&P reported that it just dropped another 50 or so points. It dropped 500 points the day before, and it completely collapsed all the gains of 2019 in the world economy, in the US economy. You see? 2 days before that, the Dow Jones dropped 3,000 points. And the 3,000 points that it dropped eliminated jobs, 401ks, retirement programs. It destroyed what families thought was financial stability within their homes. And then you're now shut in and shut out of options until carrot bars. All right. So now, when you establish frequency, your consistency, your persistency, it makes things easier. It makes starting easier. You know, you're not getting up every morning or every day or whenever you set your work schedule. You're not getting up reinventing the wheel. You're picking up where you left off, because working every day creates momentum. I'll give you an example. My wife started a Zoom conferencing with her students. She had a couple of students the first day. The next day, she had students and administrators, and I think maybe a parent or two. But you see how it grows with momentum? You work every day towards your goal, your craft, and it'll keep momentum. And more importantly, the project you're working on maintains freshness. So you literally look forward to the next working day, because the next working day is building upon the success of the day before. You're not reinventing wheels. You don't have the drudgery of having to get up and go and do the same old thing for someone else to create results for them, and nothing but anxiety and stress and burdens for yourself. You create what's known as fresh fire forever, as Mr. Dalco coined it, because every day now you're producing a new reality. You're producing a new reality. You're meeting more people. You're organizing with more people. You know, there's so much more that comes behind this. That's right, Brother Ronald. You create your own destiny. Sister Tanisha Glaspie. Woo! I better be talking about something now, because she'll tell. She'll tell on me. You know, she just became my friend, y'all. I've been busting her out about it lately. You know, I've been trying to get Tanisha Glaspie to accept my friend request for an entire year, and she accepted. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm so happy, so happy. But I followed her though, so it was okay. It was okay. All right. So your frequency, the more you do that thing, and you've carved out your work ethic, you carved out the time. You don't let anything else get inside of that time. The more you do that, the more consistent you are with that. It makes the repetition so much more at ease for you. It's like second skin. You don't have to worry about it. In fact, someone told me yesterday, I believe it was in a conversation I was having with Brother Dante Taylor. And he said, man, brother, you are everywhere. You are on, it was Brother Dante, you're everywhere, man. You're every time we look around, you're in another city, or you're doing a live stream, or you're doing X, Y, and Z, brother, your presence is felt. Well, that came from carving out a time. You know, and I want to share here and admit to it right now, it was because of Tanisha Glaspie. Tanisha Glaspie taught a training, which I think all of you should make yourself available to. She gave a training on how to recruit online through social media, through Facebook in particular, she was talking about, right? But she mentioned in her training, you know, I do so much in the morning, I do so much in the evening. You know, I reach out to so many people in this block of time, so I don't get shut down by the social media platforms. I mean, she gave out some ground rules as to just how she goes about her day. Now, this is important, and it may hurt your feelings a little bit, but if you're new to this and you didn't know of this opportunity before, you didn't know that you can be wealthy by saving 1 gram of gold for yourself and referring others to do the same. If you had no idea of doing that, your innovation, the things that you know that you like to do before this opportunity, really means nothing if you have not learned the opportunity you're in from those who have been successful at it. Sister Nisha, where you at? About 600 now personally sponsored affiliates? How many did you have, or do you have? 1, 2, or 3, or none? Because you haven't learned to even mention it to your family or bring in your relationship. 530 She has. She's given us a break to go and get some of them. Thank you, Sister Tanisha. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right. So, you know, there are things, there are people rather, not things. There are people that are ahead of you that are successful, and there's a reason why they're successful, and that's the reason for a system. So when you have these quadrants, right, Mr. Kiyosaki, and then you hear us talk about, refer to Mr. Kiyosaki in the trainings, and we talk about the cash flow quadrant, and you have the E, the S, the B, and the I in these quadrants. If you don't know what that is, check out the training tonight at 9 p.m. It'll all be clear to you on goldrocks.info. All right. So in these quadrants, the B represents a system, being a part of a system that allows you to maximize the efforts of others. Maximize the efforts of others. Did I know how to do that before coming to this opportunity? I might have had an idea, but because the opportunity represented a reality that I was not as familiar with, but I knew that I wanted, I submitted to those that were in front of me to teach me how to make the most of the opportunity. You know, I didn't come in and try to create my own funnel or come in and try to create my own meeting space in my own way. No, I looked at the people who are wealthy, who are free, who recruited their way into success. I wanted to know how to do it just like them. So I studied Tanisha Glaspie. I tell you another one who I studied. I studied Roger Williams. I confessed to him yesterday. I studied every unilevel training that I could possibly find of Roger Williams. Not just on our WBW site, I went in YouTube search because there's something about leaders. When they drop these nuggets on you, there's always something more that you can pull from them every chance you go back to it. You hear a power call, right? That's what makes the replay so effective. You hear the power call, and in the power call, you're okay until a jewel hits you. You're like, oh my God, that was great. And the moment you say that and grasp that, you don't remember the rest of the call. So the replay helps you to go back because it retools you. It helps you to understand there were some other jewels and gems that was dropped in that call that you didn't catch. You see? So leaders always churn out ideas. So I refer to Mr. Williams' constant unilevel trainings. I refer to the items that Sheila Abrams has set in place. What I'm trying to tell you is there's a system that will help you help others help themselves. And the money will become a byproduct, but it all begins with your frequency. It all begins with, I don't mean just frequency and how often you do it, but now I'm talking about the frequency. What do you generate in your brain power, in your psychic, in your motivation? How do you generate the vibration to keep it moving? You have to stay plugged in. You have to keep the absolute commitment. Hey, Sister Ramona says, I schedule replays and try to duplicate what they do. I'm still trying to duplicate Tanisha Glaspie. You be right to do so. You be right to do so, especially now. Look at what she laid out. She laid that thing out months ago, and now you can't even go out the house. But suppose you were on your grind months ago. Where could you be right now? I've been blessed to recruit senators now, artists and entertainers and athletes. I've been blessed to recruit them. I didn't have access to them by going to their shows or finding them in a restaurant or camping out in front of their hotels. What I did is what Sister Tanisha Glaspie taught. I found a way to connect, and I just kept dripping, sharing, exposing to the opportunities. And then it led to other people knowing those people who put me in front of those people who had those people sign with me. Look, Mr. Best says, he talks about the 6 degrees of separation. All right. I didn't know what that meant. I saw it was a movie. I know Will Smith was in it, but that's all that I knew. But when you put yourself in a position to be a sponge and soak in all that those before you successful in a system have to offer, then it makes you successful. You have no choice but to be successful. So he said, there's always that 6 degrees of separation. There's somebody within 6 people that knows who you're trying to get to. So I target people who I have no relationship to, that I've never met in my life, that I never bought their record or never visit or watched them play a game, but I know of their influence and I go after them, not solely them, but I go after them. I make it a part of my routine because eventually someone who I connect with will know that one down the road and the opportunity becomes theirs. All right. So that level of frequency is one thing. What you do every day matters. Please keep that in mind. It doesn't matter as much as what you do once in a while. So don't hold on to the once in a while. Don't hold on to the war stories. Don't hold on to yesterday. Do the now. I was sharing with Mr. Best how this gentleman got upset with me. He noticeably got upset with me because I'm on a three-way call with him, and he's giving a war story. He's telling about his expertise, about all the things he's done in other fields. He's coming to this opportunity, and he's broke, and he's coming in with all these ideas on how he can recalibrate or redo a system that is working for 100,000 of us. And here he comes with no system ideas. Now, mind you, the ideas, I embrace that. He just continued to go on and on and on. So I said to him, I said, you live in Massachusetts? He said, yes, I'm in Boston. I said, oh man. I said, are you familiar with baseball, the Red Sox and things of that nature? Well, Babe Ruth once played for the Red Sox. I read a quote that was attributed to him. And he said, you can't make yesterday's home run cannot win today's game. Boy, did he get hot with me. I didn't mean for him to be upset, but I was just sharing it's important to live in now, because now is what you base your decision on. Right now, what you were affected by, what you felt about the presentation from the gentleman that introduced the opportunity to you, what you felt, that's what moved you to the point where there was a three-way call. So now let's not stay back there. Let's move with the now to move forward. See, because frequency produces the momentum and it protects the project and you maintain your freshness. That's why Mr. Dalco could say fresh fire forever. And we utilize it now as a standard bearer because we're bringing new people every day. And they're new to a system that will work for them. Frequency will spark creativity, contrary to popular belief. The more you do the thing that you do, the more creative you become as going about it. So when we talked earlier about massive action plan, you have to have a plan of action in your organizing efforts. So when you plan, right? When you plan and you activate it, of course, it doesn't happen right away. Of course, no, let me take that back, because you'll find some situations that really take off for you, that shock you. You know, when I was tricked into the opportunity, my wife tricked me into it. I'm so grateful. I really am. She tricked me into this opportunity, okay? That's my story. I'm sticking to it. And I was fired up. I was caught up in the now of it. She acquired a silver package. I didn't have a package. I said, give me your referral links and I'll just tell everybody about it, sweetheart, and give them your link and we'll build that way. All right. So the first 14, 15, maybe 16 people that I referred to it, I gave them the link. I didn't know that they signed up. All of them signed, like the first 16, maybe 20, they all signed up like immediately. And 7 of them purchased VIP packages. And my wife knew nothing about the opportunity, didn't even know how to sell the opportunity. They were going through the process on their own because they were just fired up over the energy I brought to it. And they went, oh, this is great. Yeah, I'll check it out. Thank you. I didn't know that they'd check it out meant they were really going to check it out. But that speaks to the speed of trust, as Brother Steve Covey used to share. He wrote this book called The Speed of Trust. Check it out, Stephen Covey. All right. So anyway, or Covey, Stephen Covey, they pronounce it Covey, I think. So we're now maybe a week or so into the business, maybe a little more. And I'm fired up. I'm telling everybody about it because I want to be free, and I think this is the ticket. But I don't have a package. I don't have a referral link. Everything was belonged to my wife. We were signed up at the same time, but she got the package. And I'm just sharing what she had. All of a sudden, all these VIPs start popping up. Renee Gant, all these pop, 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 pop. They all coming in. Carlito's coming in. Carlito came in with me, but everybody else pop, 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 just coming in, right? I don't know it. So I'm asking, hey, how you doing with the business, baby? Well, I talked to a few people that, you had called me or, and I'm just trying to figure out these things on the dashboard. I don't know how to read it. And so we went through it together. And I saw this one column that said your account. And when I tell you that the commissions that were sitting there were this long, with a comma and decimal points and the funny little symbol that meant euro, I looked at it, I said, what is that? She said, I don't know, I think that's money. I said, money? I said, from where? And she said, I guess it's from here. And we pointed to another screen and we're looking through it. And all the people that I had referred had signed up with it and got packages, VIPs, a couple of golds, and one silver, but all the rest of them were VIPs. I'm like, wait a minute. You mean this? You make money? She said, wow, I really made that money. I said, no, baby, we made that money. Man, I went and got me a package. We both went 5 and 5. We became known as Mr. and Mrs. 5 and 5. And then we traveled to Maryland and for a super sad event. Thank you, Sister Monica. The Speed of Trust by Stephen R. Covey. Thank you. And that's the first time I was blessed to meet Mr. Best and Mr. Dalco. Mr. Dalco and I live maybe 20 minutes apart from each other, never see each other in the same city, and we were in Maryland. And we met for the first time. And Mr. Best told me, he said, any man can count the amount of seeds in an apple, but only God can count the amount of apples in a seed. That was so profound and stuck with me. I knew I was going to go out and seed. I knew I was going to go out there and plant. I knew I was going to go out there and redefine and change the world. So Fresh Fire Forever only exists if you're found working in that vein. Last point on it. Frequency sparks creativity. The more you work at a thing, you'll be surprised. You follow the massive action plan. Okay. You develop your list, but no, you don't really do it. Sister Tanisha said, if you don't have 100 people on your list, you don't have a list. Right? So you'll stop at 13 and say, I'll come back and write down the other 87 when I think about it. It's about frequency, family. And there are certain triggers that have to be in place. When I talked about triggers earlier in the previous screen, right? We all have triggers. All right. I lost that portion, but we all have triggers. Okay. Our triggers are those things that allow you to activate the senses. So when I talked to you about setting up the ambiance, that was an activism, because when you walk into your space to organize yourself, you're literally walking into a space that turns on the wheels in your head. Or how about having a certain music that you play, or it's almost like rock. You ever go work out and you throw in your earpods and you get to the treadmill, or you're in the gym and you're throwing some of your punches, right? You hear this music in your head that creates the certain combinations of things that you want to get off, right? You might be cleaning around your home and you'll pop in a CD, and that gets you in a zone where you just go and do what you need to do. Or you might be driving and you like to listen to certain things while you drive. Well, these are triggers. This is background that gets you prepared to take your action. So your ambiance, how you set up your workspace, how you set up your way to function on a day-to-day basis is very, very, very important, very critical to your success. That's right, Dante, the Rocky theme. So I'm going to recap for you because we're going to conclude this, okay? All right, hold on, give me 1 second. Let's see if I have the right screen here. Give me 1 second, family. So to effectively organizing an effective routine, it implies, first of all, knowing that you have to have the vision that is so clear that your fear, your apprehension, your doubt to go after it becomes irrelevant, just totally insignificant. It's like having a string tied on your finger and you don't know it's there unless you look at it. That's how it should be treated. Okay. Your routine, your routine must consist of creative work. Creative work, strike, let me put it this way. Your routine is defined by the time you give it, the thought, the power you invest into the thought of it, the craft, the art, the development of the routine, and the persistence, your frequency, the tenacity involved. An effective routine is a successful combination of those things: time, thought, craft, and persistence. An effective routine provides creative work. Now, I didn't give you creative work, so let me just give you a definition I wrote down for that. Okay. When I say frequency sparks creativity, creativity is defined as a constant churning of ideas. Creativity is defined as a constant churning of ideas. So when you develop the work, the creative work, it's a space in your carved out time that you utilize to create. And that creation is inspired by the frequency by which you give the opportunity. So when we plan, I don't know if you can see this. I'm gonna stop the share just for a second. You see this? What's the difference between this small 3x3 piece of paper and this 8.5 by 11? The difference is the ability to accomplish. It is so much easier to write down those one or two things here to accomplish in your day, to create the small victories that continuously keeps you going. You write it all on here. All you're doing is writing a shopping list of procrastination, because there's so much more to fill out here and so little you'll accomplish because you made your day less impactful. I know we get this thing like we call ourselves, we develop this workaholism, right? We become workaholics, and we think that the more things we write down to do, the better we accomplish. But that's not really true, because we're far less productive than it looks in writing all this down on the list, because a truly effective routine is always personal. Okay. It's always personal. So when you have a snug fit, when you have something that fits you like a glove, you can make things happen. But when you have something that's oversized, it doesn't fit you right. So therefore you don't achieve right. So you have a daily routine, add to it day by day. Once you've accomplished those 1, 2, 3 things or 4 things you might write on there, you're coming into the next day at the close of the hard edges, the time frames of what you give yourself. You write down the next set of things that you're going to accomplish, the next set of meetings or the next set of appointments. Okay. All right. Back to the stream. I hope y'all okay, because we're closing this out. All right. So your building blocks involves energy. Remember, always utilize, and only you know this, what time of day do you have the most energy? And you use that time to go after massive action. Use that time of day. Do not involve that time of day, wear it down with meetings, scheduling meetings. That will not be a productive use of your energy. All right. And then, of course, your associated triggers, setting up your ambiance, create music, create background, create those things, a desk that you organize your chaos. All right. Do not handle other people's priorities before your own, because no one can be more successful for you than you. And develop the willpower to shut off the world. That's right. Your phone goes off at a certain time. Your laptop or computer goes off at a certain time where you don't hear it or ignore. Look, My wife's been telling me that forever. I never did it. Here, this is what I did yesterday. I came in last night after we finished. Brother Dante and we had a marathon conversation. Thank you, Brother Dante Taylor. Hey, Sister Colleen. Assalamu alaikum. James Marshall. Awu. We after we finished our conversation, Brother Dante and the phone died. And I didn't have it plugged up, so all the juice was out of it. So I decided just to plug it up and leave it plugged and went on to bed. I had nothing in the room or the space to disturb me with a notification, with a ping, with a ring. And I rested well and woke up fired up to get busy. It was crazy how that was realized, but it was also sad that it took this long for it to be realized. I hope my wife slept as well as I think she might have, but I was out. I was absolutely out. And I got up, fired up, ready to start my day, got myself organized. I sat behind my newly established workspace and I got busy. So develop the willpower to shut off the world. The technology is an addiction and it feeds other things that dulls the mind. So be careful. How to create and execute the ultimate to-do list? I showed you. Keep it short and sweet. Keep it simple. Do the few things in a day that's accomplishable and be frequent about it. Create time chunks of success. Create the hard edges by which you maximize your time. So if your hours are 11 to 3, if your hours are 11 to 7, if your hours are 2 to 4, if your hour is 1 to 2, whatever it is, those aren't the times that you use to do administrative work. Those aren't the times that you use for that. Those are the times that you use to take massive action. So you prospect, you present, you close, or you invite, you execute, whatever words you want to use, as long as it's a time that's designed to yield production. You do that. You shut off the world. You concentrate solely on that. You work within your space and you follow up. You take note and you follow up. Hey, Brother Russell, Al Murray, the teacher of teachers. Look, I reach out to people. I call people. I used to pull out my list all the time, show you the notebook of all the people I add to the list, 100 people a day. I add to the list 100 people a day. Does it mean that I get to all 100 people a day? No, it doesn't mean that. But I used to, but it doesn't mean that. What it means now is that I have a fresh list of people to connect with or contact, to offer the opportunity. And I go through that list, but then I pick up another book that's designed just for the follow-up. And I write my appointments in this book. Okay, I write the appointments in this book. So that's reverse calling that Mr. Dalco trained us into some weeks or months ago. How does it work? Hey, you only write down those people that are interested. Hey, Brother Al Murray, how you doing, brother? Look, I have a wonderful opportunity. I know your time is valuable. If I send you a video, will you take a look at it? Great. Let me make sure I have the right number for you. I send the video and then I write down that I've done so. But I also say to them, hey, it's only 3 minutes. You think you have enough time to watch a 3-minute video and I can follow up with you later on today, maybe about an hour or 2 hours? No? Yeah, when was the best day? What about tomorrow? So you think you'll have watched it by that time, the 3-minute video? I can call you at 1 o'clock and you're gone. But you write it down. You don't leave it a chance like you're going to respond to a notification in your phone. You're not going to do it. You write it down because you're writing a commitment and it's helping you to keep your word. And so you only write down the people that respond. If someone says no, they don't go on your list. If someone doesn't answer, you leave them a voicemail message. If you cannot leave them a voicemail message, or even if you have left a voicemail message, you send a text message saying, hey, Paul, I just left you a voicemail message about an amazing opportunity. Hopefully you got time to listen to it. Because what will happen? You may call the next time, and because you left the message or because you left the text, They might lock your phone number in some level of priority. And when you call back, Paul will say, man, I couldn't wait to hear from you. You see, because a lot of times that's how it works. A lot of times that's how it works. So you carve out that time to take massive action. All right. Learn the difference between creative work and reactive work. Creative work is that which is developed. That's the reward from frequency. The more you work and go after a thing, the greater the idea becomes. That also translates into greater the dream becomes. Reactive work is when you inundate yourself with things that are immaterial, things that can wait. You get a text message, okay. You get an email, okay. Do you have to answer it because you hit a notification? No. You answer it in the time frame that best suits you because you've carved out hard edges where you're actually working. Do not allow reactive work to disrupt you and take you out of your creative zone. Put your cell phone in jail, put your email in jail. I'm telling you, I'm learning that just in these last week or so. I'm learning how much I took that for granted and how it's affected my business. Now we're doing good business, but we can do great business. You understand what I'm saying? You got to create another level and sense of energy, and you got to create another level and sense of urgency for your success, and you will eliminate procrastination. Don't allow working a job to dictate how tired you are to go after your freedom. All right. So the successful tools: create time chunks of success, establish hard edges in your days, meaning have a set start and finish time for the different activities of your day. But inside those time, create what activities you're going to handle in that designated time. It could be creative work. It could be your meetings. It could be your correspondence. It could be something administrative. But shut the rest of the world off and dedicate yourself to that time. And lastly, do not waste the most energized portion of your day with meetings and administrative work that could be done with the lighter aspects of energy that you might have. So family, make your vision so clear that the fears become irrelevant. Identify the times that you have the most energy. Do not schedule meetings during those times. Create the association triggers, meaning create the ambiance that allows your workplace to be what it needs to be. And remember, it's the task not started that are the most tiresome. And though the days are long, the years are shorter. All right. So watch what you push into the abyss. All right. Frequency, I think I said enough about that. It's all about the fresh fire. And again, frequency sparks creativity. Creativity is defined as a constant churning of ideas. Well, you can't churn anything if you don't work. You can't churn butter if you don't put muscle in the milk. Come on. So that's what we are, family. I hope you found something in what we said to this point. I'm going to monitor the little chat area to see if there are any comments or questions that need to be shared. I'll give this a couple of minutes. If it doesn't happen, it's okay. I can live with that, but I hope that you found something in what we shared instructive and found some measure of value in it. And again, if you go to Eric Ture Muhammad, the YouTube page, you'll find this particular training uploaded there. And there's other trainings there that are shared with people. Please hit the subscribe, like, and share. To borrow the words of my brother, Ricardo Hamilton, Crypto Rick, smash that like button. Smash that like button. He is funny. I enjoy seeing it. Hey, Sister Mikia, enjoy the rest of your day, good people. She's out of here. Sister Veronica, Rich Before 50. My sister Muhammad. All right, Rufus Jones. Thank you all so much. Sister Sonia Ford, great information that everyone can use. I pray God it is. Thank you so much. And thank you, family. Any closing comments from any of the leaders that are on? Brother Dante, Sister Tanisha, Brother Clarence Hubbard, I just got your picture of my father. Thank you so much. That's a beautiful picture. Brother Asadeen, good to see you, brother. All right, family, thank you so much. I pray that you found some value in what we had to share. Remember, this is now Wednesday night. We have the 9 p.m. training. Please do not miss it. For those things that you may not have understood, some of you are here for your first time. Hey, Sister Deborah Wilborn in the house. All right. So for those people who may not be as familiar with the opportunity that we represent or understand some of the dynamics, we have a training that's going on www.goldrocks.info this evening at 9 p.m. And then at 10 p.m., you have the presentation from Mr. Tyrone Best, the Freedom Call, which is also found on goldrocks.info at 10 p.m. Eastern. You can also find it streamed on the Ty Best Facebook page at 10 p.m. Eastern. So family, thank you so much. Hey, Brother Kareem. Thank you, brother. He says good info, peace and power. I'm gonna play with this a little bit. I'm gonna wait for the rest of them to come, but I'll start with this, just looking at it. We unveiled it here in the house. My son looked at it and then couldn't figure out why I would open it up, take a video, take pictures, and not tinker with it. So I'm not really ready to tinker with it, but I will explore it a little bit. Peace and power, family. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Share this stream with everyone that you think can benefit from it. Share this stream with people that you have no idea whether they can benefit from it or not, but they just might. And put your link to it, because it might just be the one thing they're looking for to show them they can handle the world of networking and handle this opportunity and work from home. You might as well work from home. Got nowhere else to go at the moment. Peace and power forward.